It's time to take a look at what's happening around Wyoming for Thursday, August 15th. I'm Wendy Corr, bringing you headlines from the Cowboy State Daily newsroom, brought to you by Outrider PAC. According to a new survey, 79% of Wyoming voters support freedom in education. Learn more about educational savings accounts in Wyoming at outriderpac.com. Let's start out by taking a look at today's weather with Cowboy State Daily meteorologist Don Day.
Well, the air is going to get drier across the Cowboy State here over the next couple of days, and what that means is less thunderstorm activity. We'll still have it. Thunderstorms will be more spotty, though, and isolated as we head through this Thursday, but Friday, do expect thunderstorms to pick up a bit, mainly in the east. And over the course of the next few days, while we'll have a little less in the way of thunderstorm activity, temperatures are going to start to warm up, especially getting quite warm by the weekend.
You can get Don's full forecast on the Cowboy State Daily website. The numbers are out for Wyoming's 2024 state legislative primary campaigns, and primary candidates have raised and spent big money this election season. Cowboy State Daily's Leo Wolfson reports that even though the primary season isn't complete, legislative candidates are still reporting larger financial totals on average than what was reported for the 2022 primary election season.
The real big story that I think a lot of people are going to latch onto is that Governor Mark Gordon was extremely busy in as far as what candidates he gave to during the election season. For one, his Prosperity and Commerce PAC brought in nearly $300,000, of which the governor donated $150,000 himself.
Candidates and political action committees had until the end of the day Tuesday to submit their campaign finance reports. Forest rangers and the public used to settle disputes over a cup of coffee, but a recent incident in which an armed agent in tactical gear confronted a ranch family could indicate that those days are over. Some retired rangers told Outdoors reporter Mark Hines that the situation involving Charles and Heather Maud of South Dakota, who were visited by Forest Service personnel in tactical gear over a dispute regarding an apparently murky fence line between their land and Forest Service property, has garnered scrutiny from around the country.
Did talk with a couple of retired Forest Service and Park Service agents, and they said, yeah, it does seem as though lately, in the past couple decades, the approach has changed. It maybe in many instances has gotten a lot more heavy-handed, but also from the perspective of the agencies, things have also changed, like the public has also changed. The situation in South Dakota does seem to have bad optics for the Forest Service and for that ranger district.
The fence in question has been in place for about 75 years on the Legacy family ranch. One of the most unusual houses in the Sheridan area has just hit the market. Kendall and Joseph Hartman are selling the Lion Dog Estate, their dream mountain prairie zen home designed in 2005 by renowned architectural firm 4th Street Design Studio. The 7,577 square foot home, which includes 5 bedrooms, 4 full baths, and 1 half bath on 2.79 acres, is listing for $4.5 million. But as Renee Jean reports, those bathrooms are part of the house's unique appeal.
It's got lots of features, but if I were going to pick one to highlight, it would have to be the waterfall bubble tub. So I'm told by the owner, if you close your eyes, you'll feel just like you're sitting in a babbling brook, albeit one with nice, warm, heated water. And then the other feature to this bubble tub is as the water is cascading into the larger outer shell and then filling the smaller inner shell, it's changing colors.
There's a library, 4 outdoor entertainment areas, a pond, and a spacious 4-car garage with heated floors. I'll be back in just 15 seconds with more news.
Your attention is precious. That's why Blue Cross Blue Shield of Wyoming works hard to make navigating your healthcare easier. Because having the right health insurance means not having to think about it, letting you focus on you. That's the benefit of Blue.
Emotions do tend to run a little hot during election season, but an anonymous caller to Secretary of State Chuck Gray's office crossed the line from emotional to possibly criminal when he left a vulgar, threatening voicemail for Gray. The sinister voicemail sounds like a thinly veiled threat on Gray's life if he doesn't conduct a fair election, according to politics reporter Leo Wolfson.
There's a man who kind of in a rather menacing voice threatened Secretary Gray that he better not cheat in the upcoming election or do anything to mess with the results, or not him, but somebody like him will be coming after him. Politicians in Wyoming have certainly received threats before, death threats even, but it is somewhat notable considering the timing and the fact that Gray is the #2 elected official in the state.
Gray said the voicemail has been turned over to law enforcement. And the South Dakota husband and wife who shot at and bear sprayed a Colorado woman who walked through their campsite in the Bridger-Teton National Forest in June are asking a judge to dismiss their case, claiming they acted in self-defense. But Cowboy State Daily's Claire McFarland reports that woman, whom Ben and Shannon DeWitt admittedly attacked, told police that she was only out looking for a custom-made cowboy hat that blew off her head during a horseback ride earlier that day.
In Wyoming, if you have a self-defense claim, it doesn't necessarily have to go all the way to a jury. You can have an early hearing before a judge called a John's hearing, where you get the chance to prove at first glance that you acted in accordance with Wyoming self-defense laws. The prosecutor then has to argue by a higher evidentiary standard that you didn't. And so if the prosecutor doesn't meet his standard, but you meet yours, you go free. So there's one of these John's hearings scheduled in the DeWitt's case, August 20th.
The prosecutor's filing calls the DeWitts the initial aggressors. If he can prove that claim to the court, then the DeWitts can't claim self-defense. And that's today's news. Get your free digital subscription to Wyoming's only statewide newspaper by hitting the daily newsletter button on cowboystatedaily.com. And you can watch this newscast every day by clicking subscribe on our YouTube channel. I'm Wendy Corr for Cowboy State Daily.